But now you have Joe Biden. And Joe Biden doesn't have that level of political acumen. He
doesn't have the level of political acumen to buy the nomination.
No, he doesn't.
Well,
and by the way, that buying the nomination was also from fear. They were terrified of what Clinton's would do.
Yeah.
They were terrified. Like, they fell in line. They assumed she was going to win it. There would be political consequences if you fell out of line. Tulsi Gabbard is feeling those political consequences in this election.
Yeah, they certainly don't want her in a third debate, taking out another top-level candidate, because they want as many candidates as possible, don't they, at the end standing, because so they can take it to delegates on the second round, because it's pretty obvious, to me at least, from sitting over here, as much as I would like to see a Tulsi Gabbard presidency because she's got an awesome foreign policy and she's the only one who is anti-regime change war, I would say there is Bernie Sanders, and he's the runaway favourite, and he is gaining like a racehorse on Sleepy Joe Biden, isn't he, mate? Tell me about Bernie.
And some of the polls, it seems to be. That Mama poll that recently came out, again, top-rated poll. I mean, like, infallible in the sense of if you're looking at just the polling thing. And I'm not saying infallible is an absolute, because polling can be off. That's not what I mean. I just mean in comparison to other polls, it stands just as good, if not better, than the other polls. It is a top-rated DNC poll. Sanders took the lead, up by 6. Warren tied, up by 5. Biden down 13. And not just down 13, down across every last demographic that was measured. It was astonishing. He was outright fell apart. Now, in some of the other polling, you have Sanders getting closer. Like in the Emerson poll, Sanders is catching up. Biden is maintaining, but Sanders is catching up in that particular poll. And some of the other ones, again. So it's like, on the whole, Biden, for the most part, is maintaining a lead. By the same token, Sanders is gaining momentum on it. By the same token, Elizabeth Warren seems to be also upping her profile in this particular contest, which means that what seems to look like is going to happen is Biden is going to flame out, leaving Sanders and Warren, with Sanders and Warren creating this kind of weird thing where they may end up splitting votes. Sanders, Warren, and Biden may end up creating this odd dynamic where it goes to a second round vote, in which case superdelegates are going to make a choice again, and all of the superdelegates are still there. And all of them will come into force on the second round.
And as Donna Brazil says, we are very much in the room, and we still have a seat at the table. And that is how they're going to set the menu, we think. Now, so the thing is, I listen to a lot of when I first became. I mean, you're not going to. People are not. I know some people are not going to believe this. Others are going to say, yeah, it makes total sense. But I wasn't really interested in politics until 2016, until the referendum, and that's sort of how I became interested in politics. And I searched online after Donald Trump won the presidency. I searched online for independent online media, because I knew that what I was getting told from the mainstream was bollocks, because something was clearly screwed up here. They just nominated Donald Trump president. Something was severely fucked up, and CNN and MSNBC and all the others weren't telling me. So I typed in independent news, and I found TYT, and we all know what happened to them. But from them, I found the likes of yourself and Carl Kalinske and Jimmy Dore and Mike Figueredo, etc. And I know that you all, Bernie, especially Mike and Carl Kalinske are Bernie supporters, if you like. I know Bernie says that they are going to. Carl Kalinske says they're going to try and cheat Bernie the same way as they're cheating. They're cheating, Tulsi right now. They're going to try and their best, and they've obviously got the media of their media. They've got the knives out for him, and can you imagine? For instance, can you imagine how they would be attacking Bernie right now if he was making the same missteps that Biden was?
Yes, I mean, because there are 2 points. In the last election, they kept saying, oh, Sanders doesn't know anything about foreign policy. Sanders doesn't talk about foreign policy. Elizabeth Warren doesn't talk about foreign policy at all. And then they even used to hit him, oh, he's the white candidate. That's the other racist thing. Oh, he's the white candidate. He's a white candidate. Do you realize Sanders' support is mostly people of color, low wage, women? Isn't that amazing? They say Bernie bros. The woman got on MSNBC and said, Bernie makes my skin crawl, and I think he's anti-woman. And she says, I don't know why I think that. It just is. Is it because he has a penis? Is that what it is? I mean, if you're going to say that you think the man is anti-woman, then I'm going to say I think you're a lunatic, and I'm going to connect that to some degree with the other statement of I don't know why. Maybe those two things are related to one another. MSNBC has made a choice on who they want. That candidate is Warren, and they have gone out of the way. One of the hosts one time says Sanders should drop out the race and support Warren. Now think about this. Warren's in third place, sometimes fourth place, the entire race. And they're like, Sanders should just drop out. Utter lunacy. And CNN has been doing that nonsense also. Bernie Sanders told CNN during the middle of a debate, he said, a drug commercial is probably going to show in this debate.
Oh, I saw it.
A drug commercial showed in the debate.
And it did.
It did. And CNN, who has a vested interest in maintaining the dollars from those drug ads and everything else, had the knives out for one Bernie Sanders. The beauty of that debate, though, was that Warren had to support Sanders' Medicare for All because she staked her life on that plan. Meaning, instead of everybody attacking Sanders, you ended up with Warren and Sanders fighting off CNN and the people on stage, and they did gangbusters. They knocked that shit out of the park. You know, because it's one of those things where the moment that guy throws a punch back and he gets hit and hits back harder, and the public is like, yeah, he makes a good point. It works.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the level of unfairness to some degree works in his benefit, at least in this particular situation, especially when he is calling it out and saying, you guys are being unfair to me. And yet he also is able to answer the questions and answer them honestly and still win. Like, because his thing was, are you going to raise taxes to pass Medicare for All? He says, yes. Nobody wants to answer that question, yes. He says, yes. He says, however, you are going to get that money back. Meaning more money is going to be coming back to you from the standpoint of medical bills than you're going to be putting on in taxes. Now, when CNN asks the question, they don't ask it in training.
How are you going to afford something that's cheaper?
Right. That's what, right.
CNN
doesn't talk about it in that way. CNN just like, are you going to raise our taxes, Sanders? What CNN is talking about, Jake Tapper, are you going to raise my taxes, Bernie Sanders? Me, Jake Tapper, are you going to raise my taxes? And there are drug ads that we're not going to get if you pass Medicare for All. Us as a network aren't all that happy about it, so we're going to ask you questions that are entirely skeptical. Hey, guy that paid $20 million of his own money to get into the race to tell people they can't have nice things. Do you have anything to say about it? Yeah, that happened. Delaney, who's so rich that he spent $20 million of his own money. He is 1% in the polls. His own campaign started leaking information to the press to try to get him to drop out of the race. But he gets on the debate stage and attacks Bernie Sanders saying, we can't afford it, Sanders. I know I have $20 million to just burn away to tell people they can't have nice things, but we can't afford it. Do you realize it annoys the shit out of me. This is the party, the Democratic Party.
Has he made the third debate, by the way?
That was the second debate.
Has he made the third debate, Delaney, or has he dropped out?
No, oh God, no. Hell no. Delaney spent $20 million.
I was going to say, if he's made the third debate, then something's seriously wrong.
Yeah, there was no. Delaney is not in that third debate. Nobody is ever going to talk about Delaney ever again in life. He is going to essentially fade away from the political process, unknown, with the ignoble history of just getting walloped over and over again by Warren and Sanders in a debate where he spent his own money to get embarrassed.